Hello, spacers and world hoppers. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the last of Brandon Sanderson's secret project novels, The Sunlit Man. Now, I've done my usual thing, consumed the book in a single caffeine-fueled weekend, and I have thoughts. Many, many thoughts. This one's a bit of a peculiar beast. Is it a standalone adventure? A loving gift to the Cosmere faithful? A confusing barrage of capital I investiture terms for the uninitiated? The answer, my friends, is yes. But let's break it down. Strap in. This review is spoiler-free for plot, but we are going to talk vibes and context. And I need to be honest with you from the start. This is the most Cosmere book Brandon has ever written. If that sentence made your spidey senses tingle with excitement, you're in the right place. If it made you go, "Hoid who?" you might want to grab a notebook. The book opens with our protagonist, who calls himself Nomad, doing what his name suggests, arriving on a new planet. He has approximately 5 minutes to enjoy the view before he's running for his life. Welcome to Canticle, a planet of beautiful, stark vistas and one tiny existential flaw. The sunlight will literally incinerate you. This is not a get a nasty sunburn situation. This is a the rocks melt and reform every day situation. Society here is a desperate, perpetual migration. Think Mad Max meets a solar-powered bullet train. People survive by using captured sun hearts to power their vessels, constantly outrunning the dawn. It's a fantastic, instantly compelling piece of world building. Classic Sanderson. Take a wild magic rule, sunlight kill, and build an entire culture's trauma around it. The vibe is pure science fantasy. You've got magic investiture, you've got ships with inconsistent tech levels, which Nomad grumbles about constantly, and it's a highlight, and you've got a tyrannical ruler called the Cinder King bearing down on everyone. It's dystopian, it's desperate, and the clock is always ticking. Our lead is Nomad, and here is where the "for the fans" tag gets its bold underline and exclamation point. Nomad is cynical, beaten down, and on the run from a mysterious group called the Night Brigade. For most of the book, we don't know who he is, only that he's deeply connected to familiar Cosmere figures, Bridge 4, Kaladin, Hoid himself. Let's be frank. If you haven't read the Stormlight archive, a significant portion of Nomad's internal monologue will sound like gibberish. He's haunted by events we haven't read yet, referring to past failures and traumas that are central to his character, but are from a book Sanderson is still writing. It creates a unique challenge. As a reader, you're constantly aware you're missing a key piece of the emotional puzzle. I'll admit, when his identity was revealed, I had a moment of pure, unadulterated "oh," followed immediately by, "Wait, remind me which one he was again?" A quick Coppermind search later, and I was up to speed, but it highlights that this story is leaning hard on your pre-existing knowledge. Now, the best character in the book, hands down, is Ox. Ox is Nomad's dead, bound Spren companion, and in a past moment of desperation, Nomad had to siphon away most of Ox's personality to survive. So now, Ox speaks in a flat, robotic monotone, but he qualifies each statement with the intended inflection. Statement: we are likely to die. Inflection: sarcastic optimism. It is a brilliant, hilarious, and surprisingly poignant device that adds so much heart to their partnership. The side characters, like Elegy and Rebecca, are fine. They serve the plot, but they don't get the depth we usually see from Sanderson. They feel a bit one-dimensional, but in a story moving this fast, there's barely time to breathe, let alone do deep character studies on everyone. And boy, does this story move. The pacing is breakneck. It's essentially one long, extended chase sequence with moments of frantic problem-solving. Sanderson is experimenting here. trading his usual slow build for relentless action. It's thrilling. It's also exhausting, and it means the quiet moments for character reflection are scarce. The plot itself is a classic stranger rolls into town story. Nomad, trying to lay low and gather enough power to world hop away, gets sucked into the local rebellion against the Cinder King. Think The Fugitive or Firefly, but if the fugitive could occasionally suck in sunlight to do magic. He has to figure out the local rules, help the little guys, and outrun both the Dawn and his pursuers. But the real plot, the emotional core, is Nomad's journey toward redemption for those off-screen, pre-booked traumas. And this is my biggest critique. Because we don't see the trauma, his constant angst about it can feel repetitive. The pivotal moments of his arc, while cool, don't hit with the seismic impact of a typical Sanderlanche because the foundation was laid in a book Sanderson is still writing. This brings us to the big point. Tress and Yumi were basically gorgeous standalone fairy tales with Hoyd as the narrator. You could enjoy them fresh. The Sunlit Man is not that. It is a direct, full-throated continuation of Cosmere lore. It name-drops Scadrial, Cell, Nalthus, Threnody, Adonalsium, you name it. For a fan, it's a glorious Easter egg hunt. For a new reader, it's a confusing barrage of proper nouns. So, the million-chip question. Should you read The Sunlit Man? If you're a deep Cosmere fan, absolutely 100% yes. This is your reward. It's a thrilling, action-packed glimpse into the future of the universe. It connects dots, introduces fascinating future tech, magic as alternative physics is in full swing here, and it feels like a celebratory victory lap for Sanderson's 50th novel. The world of Canticle is incredibly cool. Ox is a treasure, and seeing a familiar face in such a rough spot is compelling. But I have to acknowledge its limitations. The breakneck pace sacrifices some character depth. The heavy reliance on unseen backstory can be frustrating. It's a brilliant deep cut for the fandom, but it's arguably the least accessible book Sanderson has ever written. So, my rating? As a Cosmere novel, 4.5 out of 5 Sun Hearts. It's a thrilling, essential piece of the puzzle. As a standalone novel, 2.5 out of 5 Sun Hearts. The missing context is too central to ignore. So, what did you think? Did you love the deep Cosmere connections, or did you find yourself adrift in a sea of investiture? Let's argue about it, politely, in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into fantasy and sci-fi. And remember, always outrun the dawn. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.